Hello, my beauties. Hello, 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 hello. It is Viv here. Oh my goodness. Welcome to my live. I am a meditation teacher, trained in yoga, meditation, and here to try to spread some love and some peace and tranquility on the planet. Hold on, guys. I'm just closing a bunch of tabs. Um, my live is kind of up against a channel that um, may take some folks away, and that's fine. But welcome. Hey, you guys. I am shaken up, and I'll tell you why. And hopefully, we'll just have a nice time together. I really want to open it up to be sharing. Again, people pop in and out. I see some people probably they saw live, but welcome if you're a member of the community. I hope you are well. I don't know why or how this happened, but I really I trust spirit. You guys who watch me know that. My channel is mainly about spirituality. I've been saying wellness and woo-woo. So I am shaken up because the way my life worked, I just watched videos of the assassination on former President Trump. And it is upsetting. Now, I know there's a wide range of feelings here, and I even hesitate. I'm just going to speak my truth. Coming from Spirit was sharing with me, this is really a time I got the word endings and beginnings. And if those of you who saw my original title, Hi Gigi, I was like, oh, it's mid-year. Let's talk about our goals and even journal. Right? I've got notebooks here. I got notebooks there. But then as I was getting ready, you guys took a shower, got all fresh for you. You can't see. I actually really like I like the top with the white, but you can't see the white part much. And I don't like it as much when you just see that. But anyway, getting ready. And I'm like, oh, well, let me see what happened to Trump. Because I was visiting a dear friend who is ill in a facility, elderly person. And I had heard, oh, there was a shooting at a Trump rally. That's how it was told to me, I guess, yesterday. And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, and I had some assumptions, I was like, well, I think a lot of people there might come armed, whatever. I didn't hear assassination attempt, which to me is very different than a shooting at a rally in terms of implications, right? In terms of implications. So I was getting ready for you guys. And then I was like watching YouTube videos, like what happened, right? And it was just really disturbing. So I know in my audience, I feel like I just want to know how you feel because I really shouldn't have watched that right before what it go on. Because I'm shaken up. I have many, many thoughts on it. To be really honest, I'm afraid to share some of them because I just think we're in such a contentious time. I think it's wrong anyway. I'm old enough. Let's go back then. Well, I want to hear your opinion, how you're feeling. What do you think the implications are? I really want to know. I remember, I think it was Reagan's. I believe that was the last president. Well, that was the last presidential or presidential candidate or former president. It was shocking. I was quite young. I remember watching it on TV. I think it was John Hinckley. Am I right, guys? And it was upsetting. So I was like, oh my God, why'd they try to shoot the president? Like, why? What's going on? Ah. Right. And I was with my parents. So I must have been still at home. And the parents were watching the TV. And, this was pre-internet. This was pre-internet, I think. So I'm just thrown off. I'm thrown off because I was like, what's a good topic for the live? And honestly, because I'm a spiritual person, I'm picking up the vibe so much. And I was like, Viv, that's what you want to do. But even before I was aware it was like an assassination attempt, on a presidential candidate and a former president, I was kind of like, there's so much crazy blank going on. Do I want to talk about that? What do I want to talk about? So I'm just going to put your comments up, and I just, yeah. And I will share my thoughts on it, and I may pull some cards on this. I'm afraid to do that for a couple of reasons. One, I don't really want to hear more bad news, to be really honest. So I want to know what you guys think. How is it affecting you? Do you like, oh, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Oh, he's a bad person. Like what are you thinking? I'm hoping that I have watching, and I know I do, folks who are thoughtful, and I'm mostly concerned not what you think about Donald Trump, but what you think are the implications of this on the nation where most of my audience lives. I live in the US. What do you think? So I'm going to start at the top and just also say hi. Say hi. Say something calming. And another thing that is weird about this, like I said, all I heard was shooting at a Trump rally. I didn't think he was in danger at all. But I did get that, Viv, you should lead like metta. Metta means loving kindness. Metta is it's almost like prayer. It's basically a practice to develop a kind heart, a loving heart to all people, to all beings. Okay, which in these times sounds really radical, right? Um, and so before I was like rattled by this and the implications for the country and people and us, all people, women, Black people, everyone. Um, I was like, got the message. You should do metta. So I think we will do some sort of like a moment of just prayer, reflection, meditation, just briefly. Okay. So yeah, I really should have I was in a totally different space, you guys, before I literally watched video of it. I am, my first thing, I'll say it because a lot of people on YouTube don't watch long into a video. My first thought, and this is going to anger some people, my first thought is, how is it possible? And we know it is, whatever you think, whether conspiracy, there are going to be multiple conspiracy theories, clearly already. But how is it that such a young man who, some kid was saying how he was bullied, whatever. I mean, they showed his picture. I could see, that he could be bullied. But how is it, the biggest question to me is, how is it that there are so many guns available that a weapon of that caliber that I would think of, in many parts of the world, they think of as a military grade, meaning for the military or police, right? An organized group that is keeping order, or that's what they're charged with, those are weapons for them. How is it that a young man, and we know also just legally, can have weapons of that caliber? To me, that's the very first question. I was looking at different channels. I didn't watch Fox News, but I watched different channels reporting on it. And none of the people commenting were asked that. It was just like conspiracy theories and just and analyzing the situation. But no one's like, yeah, it's almost like it's normal that the average person is going to be armed with like a semi-automatic. I don't even know. And I think that's literally the first question. Okay. So thank you, Lydia. It did shake you. Yeah. I'm almost going to cry because, like I said, I think the nation is in such a split position that people are no longer able to even listen to each other. I'm even seeing it in personal relationships, you guys. Let me know if that's happening for you. And I don't mean even political, like, oh, one's Republican, one's Democrat, one's nothing in the middle, something in the middle. More as many things flare in the world, I'm feeling like humans, even in my friend group, aren't able to like express their feeling. The person here receives it, stays calm. Oh, I have a different opinion. Oh, okay. And talk. It becomes like this really fast, really fast. Let me know if you're feeling that. Are you seeing it at all in your personal life? Because I am. I'm seeing that. Gigi, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. You got cut off last week. How are you feeling? Honey, I'm just over it. I'm over this country. I didn't say I'm not over it. I did not say I'm not over it. I did not say I'm not over it because as I said, I'm so glad you're here and thank you for your comment. The fact that it's normal for someone to walk around with a semi-automatic weapon that can fire from such a distance anyway, that is not in the military charged with protection or in the armed forces, police, whatever, that is also, in theory, charged with protection, that is normal is the base problem. It's the base problem. Okay. In my opinion. In my opinion. So, Ishul Sharon, yeah, tell me more. How believe me, yeah, yeah. And yes, two people died because of that caliber of weapon. Of course, it's powerful, right? It's powerful. It's powerful. So I am shaken. Like I said, hearing it is different than seeing it. Okay, hearing about it. I was visiting, like I said, a dear friend who is quite elderly. Visiting her in a rehab facility, rehabilitation, not like drugs, not drugs or alcohol. Nursing home, and so I was a bit saddened by that, and her partner, and all of the pain of the sort of um, aging and illness. And so, but to see, like I said, I was shook when Reagan, and I don't really say shook, I'm sorry, I actually do say shaken, which I think is more correct. I was shaken with Reagan's shooting, but I was much younger. I just kind of was like, I had not been through and seen this country. I'm old enough to see this country. Mind you, if it was just a facade of civility, right? And I know, many of you know that is a facade, but to see that facade crumble. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, presidents acted a certain way, and at least there was the appearance of this is good, this is bad, or we're trying. But now I just feel like we're so divided. And hi, Priya, and welcome, goddess. How are you doing? How are you doing relative to an attempted assassination on, a former president, certainly, and a, presidential candidate? Priya, what do you think? What's your spiritual take on it? So I'm going to go into my take on it now. And like I said, I'm a bit nervous to share my opinions because I have a really contrarian opinion. It is conspiracy theorist. Remember that show Scandal? Remember Scandal? Okay, so what we are talking about, if you're just joining, we're talking about America right now, what's going on, my take on it. So my contrarian take is this, and I haven't meditated on it. Like I said, I was putting makeup on and I watched, somebody being shot, and then there were glimpses of the people who actually were killed, and my condolences to their family. So, my very first thought is, well, gosh, this is going to, I'm thinking history here, people, okay, because I'm old enough I'm just thinking history. If one side's leader, if there's an attempt to kill him, typically the other side is blamed. So, okay, Republican, attempted to be killed, you would normally, again, I'm talking historically, trying to look at it from a pulled back lens, you would think the opposition, whatever they are, like if it were reversed, I'd say the same thing. But then, this is where I get a little contrarian. That might be true. I don't know. I do not have an insight on the CIA or the FBI or the NSA or anything like that. But then I thought, again, back to Scandal. Some of you probably know where I'm going. And just different operatives and different tricky things. Because that's the normal reaction. If your side, if there's an attempted assassination, you automatically look to the opposite side. What if instead, though, it were orchestrated? Because when you attempt to assassinate someone, you automatically, you guys know where I'm going, you automatically, that person is lifted up. Why? If I support, you know, John X, and somebody tries to kill John X, I'm gonna be all like John X, you know, and it's gonna rile me up. It's gonna make me more support the person. So you following me? I'm just feeling like, and again, I have no proof. I don't know. I'm just telling you guys literally what I'm thinking. Is it possible that, again, knowing human nature, very basic, this might be orchestrated, again, not to actually kill the person, but to attempt to, in order to lift them up even higher? What do you guys think? What I want to know, I know, Ishul, Sharon, and okay, I'm just going to call you Ish. Ish, what do you think is really going on? What do you think is going on? I want to know. Priya, I want to know what you think is going on. Aside, of course, from the surface, like I said, 2 people were killed. That was wrong. Attempting to kill someone is wrong. But I feel like we're in a theater. I feel like, again, because of my age, and I'm not like a historian, I'm not, but just pretty intelligent person, fairly unbiased. I just feels like theater. You know, after the shooting, watching the Secret Servicemen, and I have to say that everybody's dumping on the Secret Service. Again, I don't know. I don't know anybody in the Secret Service. To see these men and women jump to cover him, I always am impressed by that. I'm impressed by anything selfless. I am. I'm impressed by people um, acting from a like a higher motive. So that really moved me, and like, you know, part of what shook me up, because they're literally like, okay, I'm going to take the bullet for this person. So you know, that I'm always impressed by that. People are already dumping on the Secret Service. Obviously, you have to look at it. It is a failure. If you just accept the surface of what happened, it is a failure if the attempt happened. But look, they got Lincoln, you know, they got Kennedy, like it happens. People act as if because the Secret Service is like, you know, super like whatever, that they should be able to like never have anything happen, especially in really like contentious times, and especially when so many people have weapons. Okay, so what do you think? I want to see what you think. Ah, I've been off the internet too, Priya, but do you know? Ah, okay. I love it. So I'm going to read what Priya says. She says, I've honestly been off the internet. No, me too, up until, and that's why I'm so shaken, Priya, because I'm just living my life. You know, your stuff is going on, just like you guys, right? Just coming in. I'm talking about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. I'm talking about we got the surface level that appears this happened, and then what are the implications? Okay, and nothing is. I'm not saying anything is set in stone. So Priya, absolutely, that's why I'm shook up, is because I'm trying to put on some lip gloss, and I decide to like, okay, so wait, what happened? Who tried to kill him? And I watch, and I am a Virgo, and I get very like, when I get into a topic, I get like obsessed with it. So I watch multiple videos, different angles, and so um, that's very upsetting to see. So Priya, I don't know if you heard, my first thought is we live in a nation where the fact that anyone pretty much can buy a sub-automatic weapon, semi-automatic weapon, and that is normalized. That's my first issue as a spiritual person. That a young man who, whatever, again, taking the surface of it, disaffected, bullied, whatever, unhappy, you know, working in a nursing home, maybe having a whatever obvious issues, mental health, emotional, um, can just walk in and get a weapon that can like take multiple people out. It just seems that we, the elders, the adults in the room, cannot agree that this is not good, and that is very disturbing to me. So yes, mind your energy so you're not investing in timelines you don't want to create. Sure. The problem is, and there's other words for it too, Priya, I'm blocking right now. If enough people want to create use the word timeline, create a reality, we may, actually, I do believe we can be out of that reality. We can, but it doesn't mean, for example, World War II, right? There were pockets where people were able to be peaceful, and yet there was like mass destruction, um, death, and all of that happening, and killing, and rage. And it's like it erupted out. And I do feel that same sense again. And I wonder about it being cyclical. Any of you have any thoughts on violence and humanity as a sort of cyclical? That we seem like we're progressing, and maybe we are. Maybe it's a spiral, like we were here and then we're progressing, but there's still these cycles of um of violence or of hatred. What do you guys think about that as Percival sits down? I know it's a game to rile people up. Exactly. All right. And so absolutely. So yeah, what do you guys think of my theory? I feel as if one potential one potential scenario, if we look at like multiple realities, like I said, if there's an attempt to kill someone, any political leader, that person always has an increase in fervor and popularity amongst their followers. That's what is the thing that I'm most intrigued by with this incident is it would seem to actually increase, it would actually seem to be a positive for Trump, is what I'm saying. And so then my next question, again, tell me, did you watch Scandal? My next question is, who would that serve? Who wants that? And so that's kind of where I'm like, interesting, really interesting, you know? So Priya, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Lydia, what do you think? Gigi, what do you think? I'm going to get okay, it's right here. Um, I do think it's perfectly fine to say I'm going to pull my energy back, and I will also probably later. And we're going to do a little bit of centering as well here, a little bit of metta. But they're really, like I said, World War II, World War I, times where nations have been at war, even more recent wars that maybe happened in the Middle East where they didn't happen on American soil. Um, People get swept in. So like Priya, there's not karma so much as they're like these energy fields. And so my worry truly is, yeah, of just for humanity and people getting swept in to, when I think back about as Nazism rose, for example, there were people who were literally not Nazis, but apparently, and I had to stop reading about it because it was so disturbing. But there were people who you had to join. In fact, the party, once they started to rise to a certain height for jobs and further opportunities, you literally, like if you were youth, you had to join. I believe it's the SS. Like you had to join and literally become that, or you might risk your own life. And so what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm just worried how this will sweep people who are innocent, or who yeah, how this will unfold for people. Yeah, yeah. So that's where I am with it. So what I'd like to do, actually, I'm literally going to do this. The shaking. um I don't have the book on trauma talking about, like, if you want to do this with me, do this with me, seriously. I'm gonna just shake. I was leading a meditation earlier this week, and I think it was actually last week. We did just shaking, and this is actually something I think coming out of qigong. But just shake your arm. I'm gonna do it. I don't care if you guys think it's crazy. I don't think it is. And I'm gonna say something even also to Priya, but others watching. A lot of times we think we're insulated from this. I don't believe we are. I guess that's really what I'm worried about. I think that spiritual people, we tend to be permeable. Why? Why are we permeable? The way we sense things through our energy field, through our bodies, that's what makes us more sensitive, more intuitive. And so I think, so I'm going to shake both arms. I think that it's important to, even if you think like, oh, I'm off the internet, these fields or forces move through, you're still affected, is what I'm saying. I'm going to stand up. This is what I do. If you want to do it with me, but if you feel like it's not about that, but for you, whatever it is, so we're going to just shake the right leg. So I'm shaking my right leg, balancing on my left leg, and I'm just shaking my right leg. And you can see how my energy is already shifting. I'm flopping my ankle like that. And this also gets your chi moving, which is that energy moving. I'm going to do the left leg now. Do it with me. Admire my cloud painting. All right. Now shake your tush, shake your hips. And then this is another qigong thing. It's going to help a little bit with your kidney energy. Okay. So bend your knees slightly. And we're going to just sort of literally just bounce the heels up and down. Okay. So not on a straight, not on a locked knee. Okay. Do this with me. You're going to feel whatever state you're starting in, you're going to feel good. So my knees are softly bent and I'm just like literally bop, bop, bop. And then I'm adding my arms. Deep breath in. One more time, deep breath. Out through the mouth. Shake it out. All right. So let's go talk about our goals. What are we to do? There we go. What are we to do in the light of what is going on? What are we to do? So let's talk about that. That was my original theme. Because this is important. So Priya, if you're here, Ishuel, Lydia, it is half year. I think it's a little bit past. I know I should know, whatever. Intuitive time. Half the year, your goals or your intentions, given what is going on around us, how do we maintain our still point? That practice I just did literally shifted my energy. I feel closer back to my my more original energy. How do you feel? Did any of you do this with me, or was I doing that by myself? You just wanted me to embarrass myself. Fine. I feel so much better. Where are you in terms of your goals? Share in the chat. Where are you? Let's look back together. Okay. And I'm actually going to get a journal. I'm going to roll myself away. Watch. I'm going to be too lazy. I'm going to roll away. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All right. And my journal. Hold on. Hold on. Hi, Percival. Sorry to bother you. I'm going to roll back. Percival says hi. He's resting. All right. Got my notebook. So yeah, let's look at your goals for the half the year, just thinking about them. I'd love it if you would share in the chat. If you're here with me, what were your goals? Maybe your top goal. And I'm going to start talking, and please do put in the comments if you're watching from the future. My biggest personal goal was to fix some technical issues, some paperwork issues, as those of you know, so that I could, one, interestingly enough, file for American citizenship. I have lived here since I was 9 years old, but as a permanent resident. So I needed to get a lot of paperwork together. I won't go into the details because I don't think you should put every single thing on the internet. And it was a lot of different things that I had to do because there were certain things needed to get in order. And so I did do that. So that's my first one, and I'm proud of myself. Yay. So I did that. I did get all my paperwork together, and now actually I'm literally am waiting for a response. So it's out of my hands. So my main goal, I did do it. It's out of my hands right now. I just have to keep checking. And once that's clear, I will be able to move forward with that. The American citizenship, I'll have a little bit more ease in traveling as well. Okay, so that's what my primary goal was, and I'm going to put up your comments in a moment. Keep going, keep adding them. What was your goal for the year, and how have you progressed on it? Is basically it. So rather than be honest, what did you want to accomplish in this year? And at this point, how far along are you? So that was my main goal. And like I said, guys, it took a lot of work. I'll be honest with you, I had some back taxes to file, and I am dyslexic. Okay. I am very right brained, very intuitive. And so it was just a lot. And because I'm self employed, guys, it's obviously because you're like, Viv, you couldn't do your taxes. And it wasn't just 1 year. Okay. I'm being very honest. It's not like I have a W-2. I was going to hold up a piece of paper. You know what a W-2. When you're self employed, it is tracking everything and then, collating it and correlating it and adding it up. And that's what I got overwhelmed. And so I had quite a bit to do. And so I got that done. Like I said, it's out of my hands now. And I successfully also, my second goal was to my Caribbean passport. Do you guys know Nomad Capitalist? So now I'm going to have 2 passports, which is it's just kind of sexy. I'm like, I don't know. I always feel like I like spy movies and like who has multiple passports, right? But I do watch Nomad Capitalist. I find him amusing. I don't watch him because I don't watch him because I'm a nomad capitalist. I don't watch him because I agree with much of what he says. I find him amusing. And I do think when you parse through some of the scare tactics, because he does try to scare people. Like I came in here and I was shaken up, right, by this. But he consciously tries to agitate because that brings him business. Like his business is directly related to you looking at passports and stuff, right? Where was I going with this, with the nomad capitalist? But yeah, I'm going to have 2, goddess willing, I'm going to have 2 passports, a Caribbean one and an American one. So I am really excited about that. Okay, so let me look at your comments. Do share. I really want to know, what goal do you have? What are your goals? Like, what are your top 3? Pick from one of those that you feel comfortable sharing. I'd love to know. Yeah. Okay, yeah, here's your new comment. Rescheduling. Oh, yeah. See, well, we're often on the same page. Our third eyes are aligning. Okay, so yeah, get a journal. I am not fancy enough. There's you guys know the guy. He has long locks. Beautiful, beautiful man. Was sipping tea. His channel blew up because he just sit there and sip tea and talk, and he has a good voice. He's figured out how to like pipe in live music that he's like paying for separately live. I pay for music, but I don't have a way where I can have it continuously. But he just has these like chill sessions and study and work or whatever. So check him out. I can't think of his name. What's his name, guys? You know what I'm talking about. Beautiful skin. Like his skin is flawless. I'm jealous of how flawless his skin is. Mars. Priya, do you know who I'm talking about? I can't think of his name. Anyways, channel is really cool. He makes, he questions things. He's not like way out in the like another universe, but he questions and he's a creative, and I like him. I like him a lot. So those were my 2. And then other goals. Some of them are more personal. I'm not going to necessarily share them on. So I'm happy with what I've done so far. And also I'm going to let it go. And I just want to urge you, if you feel like, because I am a little disappointed in myself, and I think it's important to also note that if you're in the same boat. What I mean by that is I could have done, and as I'm saying that, they say people do what they could. Like, if I could have, I would have. I wish I had done some of the taxes and the paperwork sooner, because everything would have moved. I would have had these passports in my hand. The Jamaican one, and it is not a saying Caribbean, it's a Jamaican passport. Some of that, absolutely, they were not clear to me. They were not clear up until a couple months in. So, but in terms of some of the tax stuff I could have done, but, I wasn't able to. So, I give myself some grace for that. I wasn't able to, because I find paperwork very, very high. Thank you. Thank you. What did I say? I didn't say Heinz. I said Rhines. I said stars. Did I say stars? I knew it ended in a Z and a D, but a Z. Zitz, zitz, zepse, metze, zins. Yes, Heinz. Okay, so what are our goals for the rest of the year? What are our goals for the rest of the year? Thank you, Priya. It is, I believe the full moon is tonight. I am thinking of, I sent to my email list. If you're not on the email list, go to my website, In the Flow of Magic, and a pop-up will appear, okay? intheflowofmagic.com. There's a pop-up there and you can join, and shoot, I already sent it out. I sent out an email saying if folks wanted me to, I would do a circle tomorrow night, Monday. It's a moon day, right? Close enough to the full moon. And I have some ideas. If you're interested in that, then actually, I'm just going to say email me using assistant at In the Flow of Magic. Okay, that goes to my business email, assistant at intheflowofmagic.com. If you're interested in a circle for women tomorrow. Okay, so we're shifting from this energy, and I am going to call it, it's an energy of hate, it's an energy of divisiveness, it's an energy of spectacle, like the worst kind of spectacle, spectacular, as Priya was saying, rile people up, get our emotions, get our root chakra going, root chakra energies, which are very much about survival. Now, that's not necessarily bad. As I understand it at this time, we can have a balanced root chakra. It's not that we need to escape from that energy, but we need to purify and be stable in it. Okay. So for those of us who are light workers, healers, teachers, we need, very often our root chakra is not as grounded, and how does that show? That often shows with issues with survival, with money and home and health. Do you guys know? Share in the chat. Like, let's keep it communication. Really, talk to me if you're here, and I can see the numbers. There are some folks here besides Priya. So do share anything that I'm saying that reverberates in your thoughts. So where was I? I feel that, yeah, spiritual people, because we're often in the sort of upper energies, it's very common. There are many, especially many people who are channelers, might be very overweight and might have health issues. Oftentimes there's a, what is that called? A dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is where we go through a real challenge, a health challenge, a dissolution of a marriage or relationship, the loss of a loved one. And that kind of brings us to ourself, to our spiritual center. So I'm just saying that it is important to have a strong root chakra, But many people live in that root chakra energy in what we would call, and now this might be too much, I might have to do a separate video, Tomasic energy. Tamas, Tamas is one of the three energies in all life. So the energies are either Rajasic, Sattvic, or Tamasic. Okay? So Tamas is the energy of decay. What do I mean by that? Think about an apple. If you bite into an apple, some part of the apple, some small part of the apple is already starting to decay. Or if you've ever bitten into an apple that looked good, but there's a little part where there was maybe a worm or it was starting to go bad. That's tamas. Then there's the part that is sattvic. Sattvic means like purity, cleanness, freshness. And then there is rajas and balance. And rajas is, so it's like this. So tamas is decay, rajas is activity or becoming, and sattva is just almost like that perfect balance point. And so have you guys heard of this? These three, they're called gunas. Three like energies of everything. For example, I'm looking at the trees out my window. Right now, the trees are beautiful and green. That would be called like their sattvic phase, right? In the fall, they start dying and decaying. They dry out. Could call that tamasic. Now, it's still in the flow of nature. It's still cyclical. It's still natural. And then the rajasic could be maybe the springtime when they're that bright yellow and they're really going fast growth, right? So yeah, let me know if you've heard of that. These three gunas, they matter because it's sort of the cycle that all things go through. They arise, there's a moment where they maintain, and then a decay starts, and then it happens again. So let me know if you guys have heard of that. I see the numbers going up a little bit, so talk to me. Let me know. Gigi, are you still here? Lydia, are you here? Ishuel, are you here? Or are you guys making supper? Let me see what time it is. It's 10 to 7. Also, a lot of, there is a channel that's also doing a live at the same time. Usually I would be earlier in the day, but I ended up hitting actually Rashida. I believe it's Rashida. And I don't know if she's live. We're on different topics, but I think our audience may have some overlap. She talks about travel and primarily Mexico, but also traveling the world a little bit, but relocation, expating. So tell me, what else are you working on for the rest of the year? That's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in and what we're talking about. Hey, Gregory, welcome. I'm interested in, you missed me talking about the assassination attempt on former President Trump, the implications, some possible musings about it. I did literally like a moving our chi, like shaking. And then we went on to the topic of our goals and the year. So yeah, share with the community how are your goals going, your intentions, I could say, for this year or halfway through. What do you feel like you accomplished and what were the difficulties? So if you did want to journal, what was the difficulty? So and I was sharing about the cycle of energy and how things move in life, that there are these three energies, literally. They can overlay other systems, but basically it's a child, an adult, old age. It's those three qualities. It's in everything. You can apply it to everything. You can kind of watch so for instance, maybe a nation is born, maybe a nation thrives, but then there's a point where the nation decays, right? You see how I just joined that back together? It's true, right? There's cycles. But then there is rebirth. I mean, spiritually, things start again. They may start in a new way, right? They start in a new way. They reconfigure. Yeah. Gigi says, hey, I'm just checking back in and catching up. Yeah. Gigi, well, yeah, I don't know what you missed. I'm not sure from that comment. I know you've got a lot going on, but yeah, share your thoughts on anything I've shared so far. I'm going to leave a pause. And I'm really also staying hydrated, guys. It was like 90. It was 89 when I checked, but I swear to God, it had to be in the 90s. Heat like that. It was really hot. Um, so those are the two goals that I've accomplished. I've really put in play for the rest of the year what I would like to do. So I want to hear yours. Um, I would like to travel abroad this year. I would like to travel in September. Now it's coming pretty fast, and as I said, I'm waiting literally on the two paperworks, that I need. But my goal, my intention is to travel in September into maybe early October. I do like the fall, but it's not pretty where I am until, well, actually until mid October. I would like to kind of scout around, um, probably Italy, and then take it from there. I am not looking at Mexico. What do you guys think? Do any of you in my audience? You guys know I watch like Rashida Dow, I watch Stephanie Perry. They're wonderful channels. They're very much about expatting, looking for, go where you're treated best. Actually, let me circle back to that because I think I dropped something with that nomad capitalist. So you got nomad capitalist on one hand, and then you've got like Stephanie Perry and Rashida and Peaky Girl Travels the World. Wonderful channels, primarily for Black women. I'm trying to think of any of them. Oh, Rick and Halisi, couple, African American couple. Um, also, so very much about travel and expatting and go where you're treated best, not necessarily with the capitalist attitude, but hey. So I want to know what you guys think about what I've shared. What are your goals? Looking at them halfway through, how do you feel? How do you feel? Because I feel like I'm talking a lot and I just want to breathe and give you some time. So I see some comments coming in, so I'm going to let them come in. In fact, let's do a really brief centering. Just take a couple breaths together, okay? And what I would like to do is do a really brief metta. Metta means loving kindness, as I was saying. Hmm. Okay. I can actually feel my jaw because I am an introvert, guys. I can feel my jaw is tired. I have jaw fatigue. Okay, this is what you do. Always, it's about getting the energy moving. So I'm literally with my fingertips, I'm just going to do this. And especially like right here. I forgot what this is, the masseter. I forget what muscles, some of the muscles here. I learned them in massage school. Ooh. So if you ever are feeling like, also, is it TMJ? You can do massage here. So let's do our metta. Let's do our loving kindness. Again, just really briefly. Go ahead and lower your eyes. Feel your feet. Feel your feet. Connect into Mother Earth. Draw in a nice long breath. Exhale through your mouth. So I did a beautiful practice with my group this morning with Awaken the Divine Feminine. Some of you are in that. We did actually 2 beautiful meditations today. It's our second to last class was this morning. And so really good. I felt like I know I was doing really good work and the work that I'm here to do. Feel your feet. Exhale. And we're just going to come from the heart. Often this takes longer because we want to generate it, but we are naturally connected. So as I said before, it's one thing to have an intellectual understanding of what's going on or to feel that we can isolate, and I think we can, but we also want to stay open. We want to breathe with life, and we want to still be soft to life. So right now there's a lot of pain in the world. We have parts of Africa, we have war, we have Gaza, right? We have Middle East, we have Africa. We have the United States where there's just increasing tension, division. all around the world. So what we want to do is just hold the planet. Let's together visualize planet Earth, blue and green and white, the clouds, maybe the atmosphere, and just say to yourself, may all beings be well. I know that sounds super general, but when we say beings, a capital B, we mean all life. Okay, so may all beings be well. Go ahead and close or lower your eyes if they were still open. May all beings be happy and peaceful. May all beings live with ease of heart and mind. May all beings be free from suffering. All beings includes plant life, animal life, beings that we cannot even see with the naked eye, but that exist in the ocean and the soil and the air. All beings, higher beings that we may not be aware of. There may be lower beings we're not aware of. Our intention is not to judge, but to come to our highest degree of compassion and love. So just the way, this is how my teachers always shared it, just the way the sun shines on everyone and everything, it doesn't discriminate. It simply shines itself out, right? Its radiance touches all. In that same way, I'll go through one more time. May all beings, and I love saying it this way, may all beings, whether far or near, go ahead and picture that right in your neighborhood or around the world. May all beings, whether far or near, in high, middle, or low realms of existence, born, so here, or unborn, may all beings without exception be well, happy, peaceful, free from harm. In closing, as I know that I wish to be well, happy, and peaceful, and say that to yourself and feel it, I know that all beings, whether it's a roach or an earthworm or an elephant or a human, all beings cherish their own life. So I wish for all beings, as I wish for myself, to be well, happy, peaceful, free from harm. Take a deep breath in. So, for the rest of the year, my major goal is to be able to travel, to feel, I won't say more here for a variety of reasons, but just see some parts of the world, as I said, perhaps Italy, and work on that. That's what I would like to do. I hope some of you did the practice with me. Again, you can see me and you're maybe sitting watching me or have me in the background, but I can't see you. So the only way I know you're really here with me is I can see a number on the screen, but also if you communicate in the chat. So Gigi says, for the rest of the year, I'm working on my fitness goals. I would like to share that via social media, but it's just not in my reach. Okay. All right. Well, my love, we're talking future now and going forward. So I wouldn't say that it's not in your reach because you have no idea what's in your reach. This is for anyone, not just Gigi. As the days unfold, tomorrow it may be in your reach. I believe you're saying you want to share, your fitness goals. Why not? Just maybe share once a week, goddess. Gigi, the Empress. Come on now, live up to your name. Live up to your name. You very well will inspire someone, especially as a mother. You're probably going to inspire mothers. In fact, I remember most of what I remember about your Instagram was you doing yoga. And so maybe once a week, twice a week, take a picture of yourself Don't get too hung up on it has to be a reel or it has to be, you know, honestly, Instagram to me has too many choices. Does anybody else feel that? It's funny, I've never really liked Instagram. I find it a hard social to use. It's easy to comment, but what I don't like is I feel like it's not easy to share. Like if I find something and I want to share it. So I just don't love Instagram. Instagram, as part of Meta, as part of Facebook, made their money. This is what all the socials do. Took a while for me to understand it. They're very open in the beginning. They let you blow up because they need people. They need people because they need the data. They need acceptance, right, of their social. Once they have enough people, they start tightening it such that, like with Facebook, you have to run ads. People don't see what you post because there's millions of people. And that's how they start to make money because you will advertise. So, just be aware with social. I still think specifically you'll inspire women in the community. And so I think, Gigi, that you should, yeah. Not should, but I think you would grow from it. And even if you don't lose weight, I don't know if it's that, or is it to do the splits, or which I'm working on, by the way. I am working on the splits. Speaking of, maybe I should share my splits journey. Let's see, Ishuel. I'm just calling you Ish. Oh, beautiful goddess. I am so happy for you. I haven't gotten it up to a year yet. I will expand a little bit. Thank you for sharing that. Listen, I'm not trying. That's what I said. There's some things I don't want to say out on the interwebs necessarily. So I'm holding some of my thoughts closer. But because when I hear sabbatical for a year, then I'm like, oh gosh, you come back? Like, Ish, are you going to go back to work? Do you know? Is that something maybe you don't know yet? But when I hear sabbatical, and you may know I was in academia, I just think, oh, and then you come back, to whatever the situation is. So are you gonna, do you have a full-fledged plan on that? But you'll absolutely make it. Yeah. My thing is not so much travel as like traveling around the world, bopping around, from Bali to Rome to Cape Town, to San Francisco, up to Vancouver. I do think we're past the time where we should be traveling quite that much. Honestly, not many people are talking about it, especially in the Black community. Just air travel, the ramifications of air travel, especially just for leisure. I think, as I said before, and I'm seeing how things are weaving together. I talked about the three gunas: air travel, right? The jet set, then everybody could do it kind of. And now even more. I was watching a special, okay? Chinese and India that have vast numbers of people are now becoming tourists where before it was not affordable. Think about the implications for our planet. Over tourism, you might think, well, Viv, that's not got nothing to do with my life. Well, it does. I lived in New York City, and I've gone back to visit in the last couple of years. And in New York City, which is a city, which is urban. I grew up urban. You walking the streets in certain neighborhoods, where my friend lived, very popular neighborhood, Chelsea. It was unpleasant. It was almost not quite like that walking, but like really, really. And he said, oh yeah, it's definitely more crowded. So over tourism, going to the same parts of the world. Oh, I have to see Mount Fuji. Just comes to mind. Priya, nothing to do with you actually, but I just connected that in my head as I said it. Mount Fuji, there's certain spots they're having to close off because people are trashing. You go to a beautiful place. You go to a beautiful site you saw on Instagram. Not you. I mean, I really feel I feel like my followers, and I don't like the word followers, my viewers would not do that. Go someplace, go to see a beautiful historic fountain that's a masterpiece, as this Italian lady was saying, it's a work of art, and then you're going to go jump in it or pee in it. Now, I don't think she said pee in it, but I'm sorry. I can see some people from some countries. I'm not going to say which ones, but three come to mind very boisterous people, jumping in the fountain, treating it like it's their bathtub. Who goes to another country and treats the country like, yeah, like you're in your bathtub at home? Okay. That's what I'm talking about, people. There's just a lot of ugliness happening. And I think that I think COVID caused it by bringing us very close to the whole world, to the like, oh my gosh, we're going to die, the lockdown. And then there was this huge rebound of, quote, revenge tourism. I just think a lot of things COVID changed and broke in a certain way. Let me know what you guys think of that. I feel like COVID kind of broke our society in a certain way. I know that might seem off point, but I think it relates back to even how I started with um, just civil behavior, public behavior, violence, what's right, what's wrong, what's appropriate as a citizen, as a human to do to another human. I think that COVID kind of, in hindsight, may really have been like the match. You know, what do you guys think? Beautiful, beautiful. Ishua, yeah. I love it. I love it. I know you watch some of those travel channels. Again, for those of you who may just watch my channel, I'm going to recommend Stephanie Perry. She talks about house sitting, which I always have to say I was house sitting before Stephanie talked about it, because a lot of Black folks hadn't heard of it. Listen, especially when I was younger, I would find if there was a speck, I would find if there was like a little thread, I'd find it. I don't even know how I first heard about house sitting, but house sitting saved my life. House sitting saved my life. After I left teaching, where I was bullied, so in academia, thinking everything's great. That's how I got to Italy, because I was getting at like a normal salary, being bullied by these four men and being diagnosed with PTSD. Literally, I left the college, no real plan, and it was house sitting that saved me. I house sat, and Priya, you're going to love this because it's just so weird. I think you'll resonate with it because it's like, yeah, it was magic. It was magic. It was magic. Found a woman who turns out to have been a witch, like a real witch, not an evil witch. Okay, leave the channel if you're like freaked out by that. I was slightly freaked out, but I mean, she was just this regular woman who was like, I don't know if she would call herself Wiccan, but whatever. Stayed in her house sat for, I want to say like 7 months, you guys, free. So yeah, so Stephanie did not teach me about house sitting, but it can save your life, because that's when I sometimes say in some of my writings, I go that I was nearly homeless because I had no home. I had a car, but I had no home. I was house sitting. Now, many people don't make it that dramatic, but it was for me. It wasn't like a choice, like, oh, I'm going to give up my house. And it was like I had to escape from academia. And in order to escape from academia, sorry guys, my light's getting bad. And so I might be getting a little bit blurry. I did house sitting. So watch Stephanie Perry's channel. She is primarily, she's all Black women. She says it, Black women. Rick and Halisi, I quite like. They're in Portugal. Talk about expat traveling. I do think many of us need to consider where we live. That's all I'm going to say. Where do you want to be? I've been feeling this for years. Just so you know, this is not related to what happened yesterday. It's not related to. I even want to say this is probably pre. How far back was this? Just think about where do you want to be in the world? Just think about it. Just think about it. So I love that. I really wish you the best. If you ever want to chat about it, you can use the same assistant at intheflowofmagic.com. I'd love to like hop on like a Zoom and just, yeah, really put a face, get a little tiny picture to it. So you've been saving up for this is great, and you have a plan. And yeah, scouting is really important. Hey, Silverhead. Hey, Silverhead. Did you get a dog? Goddess, were you going to get a dog? Check out her channel, Midlife Prime of Life Fitness. I love your picture too. You look fabulous. You really do. And I love that. Silverhead Fitness. Listen, you know why I had to dye my hair to make the Jamaican consulate happy. I thought I would like that because I had been considering it, but I hated it. My hair, it was too jet black. It just did not look right. If I do color my hair, like I actually love what Stephanie's doing with her hair. It's sort of brownish. Like I don't think a brown would look good on me. I don't like when your hair is too close to your skin tone. Okay. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Same thing. If you're very light and your hair is very, very pale blonde, I think, and so if you're brown skinned and your hair is brown, I think it often doesn't work. I like some contrast, personally. But yeah, my hair came out so jet black and it's faded. I literally put vinegar in it, you guys, because it was so jet black. It looked ridiculous. First of all, are you going to destroy the chair? So I'm glad the gray's coming in. We'll figure out what we're going to do if we're going to let it go back into the nice, like it was silver. Hey, Percy, you want to say hi, honey? You want to come up here? He's just going to stare at me from the windowsill, so no. So I love it. I love that you've been planning. Silverhead, welcome. I hope your channel is growing and you're enjoying doing it. Go back and watch from the beginning. Like, you know, if you're interested, I really started off talking about the attempted assassination. I had some thoughts. Thank you. It's about being, listen, I'm going to be honest, and not all Black folks, I'm going to say, but many of us are aware of the stereotype of the loud, obnoxious American, because we're aware of that. Not all, I'm not saying some of us don't travel and get crazy. I think that's often like younger people. But I think many Black and brown folks are a little bit more aware of like not trying to go to somebody's country and trash it when you are a tourist. So I do think we tend to have that. Even just the folks I've mentioned that I've listened to, everybody brings that up. Like, just don't act like a hooligan, my mother would say. Just don't act like a hooligan in people's countries. I don't know. We don't have that unless you're very young and you're just not aware. I think that especially Black and brown people, I don't think we have the permission to go to a country and act like fools. I just I'm being really honest here. I don't. We can try it. I wouldn't particularly. Yes, I think we have to completely revisit how we relate to land, especially land we're not native to. And that's the thing, though. Where are we native to? You know, with the beautiful DNA, and I think there is a DNA company, I think was a Black woman who specifically could get very specific on ethnicity. Like, apparently I'm mostly Nigerian. So I can't make fun of like Nigerian phone scams. I still can, but anyway, Nigerian via Jamaica, right? I bet many of us, probably through the slave trade, the enslaved trade, ended up in the Caribbean. Of course, some people also traveled. I always leave that option. And I always leave the option of when you're mixed race, not necessarily. I think it's important always to say, historically, sometimes there were marriages or relationships when we weren't even allowed to get married. So it isn't always through rape or some of our ancestors may have been able to immigrate, as free men or free women. So I just like to throw that into the mix because I think it's important for us to realize that there were also possibilities, and in our histories, there were positive as well as negative. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So finding your, land you're native to. So yeah, there is this company. I don't remember her name. Of course, she's small. It's a small, and I say, of course, she's not 23andMe, which is the big one, right? The big like blood test. I'll tell you where you're from. That's the one that I took. I'm a small percentage Irish and then big percentage Nigerian. And there was maybe a little bit of something else I can't remember. Great. Oh, I'm going to show your comment. Yeah, thank you, Heather. Yeah, it is. It is. I think that all communities, guys, to be really honest, I'm afraid to bring it up. I kind of, when I watch these other channels that I mentioned, that I respect them, But I really think that traveling for tourism, for shits and giggles, we need to really consider it. Um, is it appropriate? That's all I'm going to say right now, because I have a headache. I got so worked up about this Trump thing, and it's not even about the Trump thing. I'm worried about what's going to happen in our nation. To be really honest, I'm worried about. I feel like we're. I hesitate to say this, but I feel like we're like a tiny thing could set off, like literal civil unrest. Um, is what I'm getting. I don't think it will happen, but I haven't felt into it, as I said, because I just found out about it today, about the assassination attempt. But my fear, it's not so much like, oh, politics, oh my God. It's more, how is that going to affect all of us, of all shades, of all genders? How is this going to affect us who are innocent from this like spectacle that we're watching with, yes, Biden? Because I'm sorry, I am typically a Democrat, but I do believe that Biden is too old. I know I'm all over the place on this, but it does tie together. I believe he's too old. I do not think it's too late to bring in somebody new, because the people who were going to vote, who want to vote Democratic for whatever reason, um, give us somebody. And frankly, I do fault the Democratic Party. Where were they when this was clearly brewing? It's not even about Biden at his age. I don't want to be running the country at his age. I don't care if you're my mother, my father. I think you're brilliant. You shouldn't be running the country at that age. Okay, this is not. It's just common sense. But, oh, back to the three gunas. He is in what would be called the Tomasic. You're elderly. When you're elderly, and I mean very, very elderly. I'm not talking like Silverhead Fitness and myself. I don't consider myself elderly at this point, right? I'm still pretty clear headed. But like I said, at Biden's age, I would not want to run this country. Even if I had full capacity before, that doesn't stay, right? You get slower. What if you need to make a split-second decision? All of your counsel comes in, they tell you this happened, this was attacked. What do you do? I want wisdom, yes, but I want somebody who. So I fault the Democratic Party for getting us into this mess, not managing this properly. I do. I also do fault some of the liberal and mainstream media, because with the debate, they focus solely on Biden's weaknesses. I don't feel that they focused on the weaknesses on the other side, which I won't go into. But you know what I'm saying. I did not watch it. Spirit said to me, well, I'm not even going to say. It just drew, this is what you're going to see if you watch. You're going to see this type of person, this type of person. And it's like, you don't have to watch that. Back to Priya's point, I didn't have to watch that. And then when I talked to people, they said, oh my gosh, that was exactly it. That was exactly it. What you thought would happen is what happened. Two people that I know that I respect are like, I could not watch the debates. And it wasn't just because of Biden. They could not watch the debate. Okay. So I feel like we're watching theater. We're watching a spectacle. It really, really feels like manipulated now. I'm doing this like did you guys ever have marionettes? I don't remember who went to Mexico, funny enough, when I was young and brought me back. I believe I got two. I got a man and a woman, and he had the sombrero, and I love that marionette, you guys. And it has like a crossbar, and that's how you move it. I feel like we're watching theater. I don't know who's pulling the strings. I know it's bigger than, one side's like, oh yeah, it's Biden and those people. I mean, this is Trump and there are people we don't see that are pulling the strings. There are people we don't see that are pulling the strings. I go with my intuition. Listen to your intuition, goddesses, all of you here. Yeah. Yeah. Priya, enjoy. And Priya, the class will be up. I might try to put it up tonight. You missed a wonderful class, and it was funny. You'll see why when you watch the recording. But yeah, enjoy your dinner. I try to eat earlier, so I'm pretty much fed for the night. So yeah, we are worried. I'm worried. It's not just like myself. I'm worried for the planet, the nation. I heard a phrase that I love. I certainly did not make it up. It said, when America when it either said when America catches a cold, the rest of the world sneezes, or it was when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. In either case, right? So I worry that what's happening here, how it will affect the rest of the world. So anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? Priya, it was good to see you. Ishul, Sharon, I love that you have a plan, that you are taking steps. Um, and I'm trying to be creative about it. Hey, Percival, don't turn your butt to the camera. Watch is what he's going to do. This is what cats do all the time. Is this amazing? I'm talking under his tail. It's like he's like, oh, Mom, I'm just going to block. Yeah, Percival, sweetie, I'm live on YouTube. Okay, all right. Yes. Percival's going to look out the window. Okay, I'm moving this so you can see out the window. So, how are you guys doing? What are your goals for the rest of the year? Like I said, I want to scout in September and October. I am continuing my health upgrade. I'm doing much more yoga. So yeah, let's turn it to the positive. Also, you can brag about what you've done so far and what you will do the rest of the year. Like Gregory, brag about something. Silverhead, we were talking about it's our halfway point, our goals. And I let off though with what the blank is going on in the country and the world. Okay, but Silverhead, what are your goals for the rest of the year? So again, my goal is to hopefully, my intention, travel in September, maybe into October. I would really love you guys 6 weeks abroad, scouting, looking, meeting people, seeing where might be a good place for me. I may teach the Chakra course in September, though if I'm traveling, that's the thing, it's on the laptop, right? I can teach if I can get good internet where I travel. One place might be an island, so I'm not, I'll have to check how good the internet is. Again, and this is more, again, not just for like tourism. I'm traveling to see other parts of the world, maybe where I would settle for some time. So that's really my primary goal, to make a plan, savings, figure out step by step. One town that a friend who, really lovely friend acquaintance, who is from Italy, she said to me, I see you in Bologna. I might have mentioned this last time, and Bologna is a college town. And I live in a college town now in the US, right? So it wasn't really on my radar, but it's a vibrant place. They're liberal, they're open-minded. Europe is going a bit, parts of Europe are going a bit more fascist. Again, this is just factual. I believe in France, there was enough pushback to like, no, we don't want to go that far. Are you guys watching that at all? Ishul, Sharon. Like Hungary, for example, has gotten quite right wing. It's not that I even care about people's personal political beliefs. I think that we need to live together without violence and the threat of violence, and allow people, like in the case of America, the promise is freedom, but freedom balanced with society and society's needs. America really is a country that's, compared to like a Japan, for example. Japan is very much about the collective, right? And traditionally, many African countries or tribes or nations were more the collective, more the group. Native American, more the group. And America, as a new country, relatively, this idea of like, do it yourself, you're an individual, whatever you want. So, nations have characters. So looking at where is there a balance between personal freedom, quality of life, and safety, and societal net, so that people don't just drop to the bottom and stay there. Percival's whacking me with his tail. I think he's trying to remind me that it's almost his dinner time. Yes, absolutely, of course. I mean, any of us, I think, black and brown people, when I say brown, even, some Asians, it depends, may want to be in it. Everyone wants to be in a place where they feel accepted, welcomed, or at least neutral. At least neutral. People don't have to rush to hug me, but at least neutral. So I agree completely. Though I wanted to say to you, Ishwal Sharon, Southern France, which I'm old enough where when you said Southern France, like, oh, I live in the south of France, that was money. That was immediately like, oh my God, like wealth, like wealth. But apparently, the way all the demographics in Europe that is causing some people to be so nervous, um, there are towns where there are houses that are lower cost because just the people have died out and they were not replaced. The birth rate did not keep up. So I'm hearing really good things about southern France. Okay, um, just to put that out there. Damn it, if I had started learning French, I learned French in junior high. I mean, learned. It was an inner city school with like 40 kids in a classroom or 30. It was ridiculous to learn a language, like literally. So I don't have a good command of French, and I just, yeah. But France did push back a bit. Um, every country has problems. I'm not saying every country doesn't have problems. Those of you who are just listening, I want to hear your comments. I've covered so many different topics, just sharing with you. We did that practice where we just shook it off, and you could see here. Well, let me see. Do I want to show you? Hold on. Let me lift the computer. First of all, you want to? No. Okay. He doesn't. He's camera shy. He's waiting for his contract to be re-upped, and he's just not going to be on camera until he has a firm contract and his pay schedule is worked out. That's what he told me. He's like, no, I'm just not doing it. I'm just not comfortable. So, yeah, there are countries. Ireland is a country. If you're looking at Europe, the islands, the Caribbean can be expensive. Many folks who are more Afrocentric are like, why don't you look at Africa? I think those travel channels get asked that. I think it comes down to infrastructure and safety. If the infrastructure were there and a sense of safety, I think African Americans would be flooding there, right, to the continent. Not that many of us aren't and going to like the places. Where are we going? We're going to the places that have, by infrastructure, of course, I mean steady internet, steady electrical power, things like that, that as Americans we take for granted and we expect. So I think that many more of us would go to Africa if, the people and the landscape, but what about infrastructure and what about safety? So that's, I think, the real issue with some of Africa. Now, I'm not saying as a tourist, it's very different when you go to a place as a tourist, right? You're going for a limited time, you may stay on a resort, you take very like sanctioned trips, it's different than living there. So yeah, I think we want to go where we're treated best. To quote Nomad Capitalist, again, I'm not a nomad capitalist. I do not agree with 90% of what comes out of his mouth, to wrap it up, but I find him amusing. I really do. I find him funny. And sometimes you can get good, hold on, sometimes you can get good advice from him. And so that's why I do watch him. So yes, I do want to say it really was him who inspired me to the thought of, I could have 2 passports. Because before that, I thought, I knew it was an option, but I thought you had to give up one to get the other. So I really, really understand the concept of you can have multiple pieces of paperwork that you can be a citizen here and be a citizen here. So for that, I do thank him, even though he can be obnoxious. So you guys, it was lovely hanging out with you. I'm going to really hydrate because, like I said, it is hot here. I'm glad I went live. It was nice to connect with all of you, Ishuel and Priya, Silverhead, Heather. Let's see. Some of you commented a lot, so I'm scrolling past. Gregory, Lydia, and Gigi. It was so nice to have you all here. And again, take your, and one more great comment. Yes, Silverhead. Oh, you did get your dog. Okay, okay. It took a while to come through. I don't know when you would type this. My goal is to train my new puppy to be an obedient, calm-adjusted canine. I got him Tuesday. Oh, he's a boxer. He's 9 weeks old. Oh my gosh. So he's a baby. 9 weeks is like is 9 weeks like this, like my hand, like maybe my two hands together. I don't know. Well, I'm happy for you. It seems like for you that is a really nice thing. Um, my dear friend who is in the rehab facility, she just got a new dog, and so the sad thing for her is she's missing her doggies. Um, so, like I said, energetically, I just want to share. Spirit is telling me this is endings and beginnings, endings and beginnings, and so some things are going to end, but what beginning do you want to bring about? What do you want to start? What do you want to start fresh? So, much love, and I'll have a new video out on Thursday for you. And you can always reach out to me at assistant at In the Flow of Magic. And if you're interested in any of my programs or coaching, I am for women, especially in the flow of magic. I am combining my knowledge of not just meditation, but meridian therapy that I did as a massage therapist. Guys, it took me a while to be like, why don't you put that in? So how to meditate exactly. I was teaching that, right, in a group program. Now, one-on-one, I'm teaching meditation for eight to 9 sessions privately. And then I'm teaching specific acupressure points on the body and meridian therapy, which is self-massage for your illness, ailment. So high blood pressure, heart disease. Do you have an autoimmune disease? Can we work to build your immune system? Whatever you're having. And so it is an investment. It is private with me. It's, like I said, 8 to 9 sessions over about 11 weeks, where you'll not only learn how to meditate for stress, anxiety, but you'll also start to build your health. And I'm aiming especially at academics, women teachers, because I was one, because I was in academia, but any professional woman or man for that matter, who is interested, reach out to me at intheflowofmagic.com. Much love, peace, and I would say, do look at how much media you take in, but you want to know what's going on. You want to know what's going on because that will have some impact on your actions. It will impact others also. So, something happening that, like Priya was saying, oh, I don't want to be on that timeline. I get it, but you need to know. You need to know what's happening because it's affecting the energy around you. And for you to skillfully navigate, you need to know what's happening around you. Okay? Those are my thoughts for this Sunday. Thank you for sharing time with me. I've been live for just about an hour and a half. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye. Yes, first of all. You guys, this cat is amazing. I don't know if he understands goodbye, but the minute he's done this before, I'm like, okay, bye. He's like, meow. Thank you for being so patient. Okay? Thank you.